Sound check. Test. Mic. Hello and welcome to the stream. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. So I think it's time to, before I start playing basically the build now, I want to update my endgame planner just in case there will be the mechanic for next season, that this build can still be playable. But it's still gonna be playable, but in terms of efficiency, DPS, right? More basically it's let me rephrase that. That efficiency, basically it's already efficient, but more on, are we going to have an increased damage that will make this build still okay? Basically, the new seasonal mechanic really scales the damage of this build. And we're talking about more than 100% damage increase. Even the minions on this season, we don't have any damage scaling for the minions except for the Grim Reapers. The Skeleton Warriors have the chance to cast the Reapers, but basically they're using our skill, and that is basically again a seasonal mechanic. Moving forward for another season, so basically your skeleton warriors doesn't have a chance to cast the reap. So I don't know if they're doing this kind of like some kind of a testing, like, oh, it seems like the applying the reap is going to be okay, then they're now going to introduce like same thing with the archmages. Maybe you can only cast you can only summon skeleton warriors, and then they now have the chance to cast your basic skill, like any basic skill, not just the reap. Maybe they're planning to do that. So with regards to this the bone, I call it now the bone sprinter, bone spirit and bone splinter combo. So without the seasonal mechanic, what if there's no other for basic skill increased damage because there is a new mechanic? Let's just say for summoning. So you cannot play this build now. What if you're having fun with this build? So that's why it's okay to have a theme, and then you have these mechanics that are being introduced only for this season to make and to recraft new builds and new mechanics. But it shouldn't be in such a way that really makes the build in a whole new mechanic, wherein if you're going with the next season, it's not like, oh, I cannot play this build anymore. Like I want this build to be performing on T4 on Infernal Hordes. Oh no, I can only play it on T2. That's it. If you get what I mean. So that is my thought about this, what's happening, especially with especially this build that I'm planning to play. Give me a second. Okay. So let's go for the end game. So I don't have the end game. Why you don't have the end game, sir? So basically, you don't have. Maybe let's convert this into Eternal Realm. Okay, set up. Okay. End game. Okay. So basically, you will not have a leadless wall here. This is where you're going to place Shielding Storm. Gospel of the Devotee, you're not going to. So you're going to wear the Pain Gorgers. And then on the Pants Curse Aura here, maybe Hardened Bones here. And then this one is. Is there any basic here that we can use other than the mic? After casting 5 basic skill, one of your active cooldowns is reduced to 1 to 2.5 to 2.5 seconds. But casting, we're not casting our basic. We want to use the Bone Spirit to automatically cast the Bone Splinters. Cutting Bones, this one should be, let's make it Might. Crit chance, this one is damage to vulnerable, critical strike damage. This one is the Shattered Spirit. Sacrificial, we're going with the Decaying Humerus. This is Grasping Veins. Actually, if you don't have the Grasping Veins, now this is the thing. We're missing one aspect that we have overlooked. The Moonrise that gives our basic skill to have an increased damage, and we're getting 20% attack speed. That's why I'm thinking let's go back on the game for a while. Well, if we... No, I'm thinking about the Moonrise. The problem with the Moonrise... right now, our attack speed is 67. If we cast the Bone Storm, then we get 20% attack speed. If we're going to use the Moonrise, so basically we are now over the attack speed threshold, which is still okay. The thing is, what if well, we're talking about 130% increased damage. on the basic skill. This is up to 125%. It has the cooldown, attack speed. What if we replace this? What if that is a moonrise? Yeah, that's the problem. Well, we have so much attack speed now. How much is our critical strike chance? 48? Because we're still talking about up to 125% increase in damage. If we are going to add the moonrise, I feel like the moonrise may outperform the grasping veins. The only question here is, where can we get the additional critical strike chance to make this 100%? We have the guard room. If we are healthy, we have the 12%, so we have 37%, so this is now 73. So we're still missing 27 critical strike chance. Well, we can have the critical strike chance if you have the air of perdition, but you're waiting for the mythic. What if you're trying to find the mythic, right? So you need to have a 100% increase in and basically this shattered spirit is mandatory. Now, okay, adaptability, grasping veins. Let's change this one.
Come back and see us.
With moonrise.
Fare thee well.
How long is the duration? 10 seconds.
My demons are quiet here. Mostly.
Oops, my frame rate.
Hello.
Because it's going to be hard for me to finalize that end game planner if I'm not going to. The reason why I'm not playing the seasonal mechanic yet, because I'm not yet familiar with this build, and I just want to take this opportunity to play it like as if like as if that I haven't for the new season. I don't know. Somehow. Am I using... Okay, grasping veins is still there. How much is my crit chance? 59. Okay. Crit chance peaking peaks at 84%. And then now if we are going to add now the huh? I didn't crit. The grasping veins, then it will be 100%. Huh? 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 What is that? What is that? Attack speed at 80, 103. Because the Moonrise is a additional attack speed that can add beyond your maximum cap attack speed. If I want to incorporate Moonrise, how about we remove the Pain Gorgers? No Pain Gorgers. I think we're almost there. Okay, boss time. Hey. 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 What time did I start it? 9. Oh shoot. 9:35. And so far, my essence is at full. It doesn't go down. Okay.
My demons are quiet here.
Let's try. Why my frame rate is... What's going on again? Almost a minute, right? So this one has less attack speed. But more damage multiplier. Of course. The decaying humors. Hmm? 20% attack speed is like dealing 20% increase in damage also. Even without even without the decaying, even without the moonrise. So it seems like it's very clear here that converting the bone damage type from physical to shadow, and then adding the wither legendary node increases our damage significantly. Like we are now almost 2.5 minutes, 50% or maybe the same. My only concern is the balance between critical strike chance, attack speed, and life on our affixes. So many crowd controls.
Will be tested now.
Sometimes even though we are seeing like 1.5 billion, for me it doesn't necessarily mean that, oh, this one is dealing a lot of damage. Usually my gauge is like for example on the boss fight, how fast it can kill the boss. Well, that proves the setup. So shadow damage is the king of the damage for this build. Okay. Now if we are going to remove where is it? Oh. Okay. That's something. I didn't know I'm not using the Mord Guard. Okay. Give me a second. Are we on healthy state? There you go. So 37 plus 12, so that's 49. With the Gar rune 25, so that's 74. With the Grasping Veins, so we are basically can reach, and not only that, the thing is, this one, hitting the same enemy at least 3 times with the same cast of Bone Splinters. The thing is the cast, so we're not casting the Bone Splinters, grants 8% critical strike chance. Okay. You can also do this one, so that the Bone Splinters are the one doing, and then basically we can remove these two, then maybe we can add more damage reduction here. And then we don't need the corpse explosion. We're placing it here. Another source of crit chance is Disseration. Your bone skills have a 3% increased critical strike chance for each 30 essence you have upon cast. That's why it's so crucial. It is so crucial that we are casting our Bone Spirit, and we're not really losing the essence, because the moment that we lose the essence, that critical strike chance is going to drop as well. So it's like Bone Storm, how much? No essence, except for the Bone Spirit. Sever is 20. The 2 Bone Splinters, 2 cast of Sever will give 3. I think it needs bone. So now we have 236. So basically divided by 30, so that's 7. 7 times 3, so that's 21%. I don't get it. Aha. No, I think So if I'm not mistaken, if I'm going to cast the Bone Storm, then I have 29 here, right? What is proccing Gar? Moni? It needs 2 macabre skills. How about we replace it with Pokrun for the meantime? Okay, so that 1 cast, we get the critical strike chance right away. So going back, so we have, so if my assumption is correct, if that's really working, 3 times 3 of 30 essence, so we have approximately, say, 210, so that's 7 times 3, so that's 21%, so that's 70% now upon cast. And then we have the Gar rune, so that's, we are now at 95. So without, basically without the Grasping Veins, we are now at 100%, or close to 100%. 21, 70, 95 from the Gar rune, and take note, upon casting the Bone Storm, we have another 20. Oh, there. Critical skill damage count 5. What is that 5? The counter is this one. Critically striking the enemies, that's the compound fracture. But take a look. It's just we need the essence. Basically, my assumption is correct. Where is it? Dealing bonus damage with bone skill. Dealing damage with bone skill. 5 seconds. So when we hit 10, so that's the buff. So this is the buff, and then this is the counter, this is the buff. Where is the critical strike chance? But basically, sorry, I casted the Grasping Veins, but technically, casting the Bone Storm, my Bone Spirit is always being casted because we are critically striking 100%. And basically it's working through, so we have 21%, and that is without the Grasping Veins. So, meaning we need that serration. And take note again, if we increase the essence here, so if we have 300 essence, for example, not just we are increasing our damage from the adaptability, increasing the damage also of the Bone Spirit. So if we have 300 divided by 30, so that is 10 times 3, so we have 30% increased additional critical strike chance. So I feel like there is a high chance that you can basically drop the grasping veins. Either you could go with the moonrise, and then technically we need to master crit the maximum resource here. Again, we have a pants that devotes will. The thing is, we need the armor. Of course, we need the armor maybe here. This is fine. Right, we're still okay. Am I using the Mard Guard? I believe we're not, so we're not getting any boost, but except on this one, but that's fine. See, we have 2000 armor. We have so much armor. And we don't have we still have an additional slot here. So imagine if we have that T-Bolt's wheel here with 24 resource, sir. 260, sir. I'm just holding the bone spirit. Maybe can we bring back the quacks? I think if we master work, and this one doesn't have, the thing is, we cannot add the resource here. If we're going to use the Arrow Perdition, and we don't know whether do we still have, and what are the chaos armor that is going to be carried over on the next season. This is nice. So basically, the more resource that you have, the more critical strike chance that you will have. So basically, we can add the sacrificial aspect there. Or the moonrise.
As far as towns go.
I think let's go with moonrise. Sacrificial is just adding critical. See, it only adds 7%. Oh, 7%. Oh, sorry. It only adds 7 additional resource. However, it increases our critical strike damage, and then our damage on vulnerable enemies. Oh, sorry. Just the resource. If I'll go with cold, that's 218. Is that going to be much more potent than... Again, we're talking about resource, right? if I'm going to place it now. It's now to 194. Can we try? It's just... Again, we're relying on grasping veins also. Let's see. I feel like I'm not going to be able to to play the build now. I mean, using the seasonal mechanic. Ew. The beast cornered. No, no, no. I forgot something. The bone spear and then the terror. I think that's correct. Neo, Quacks, Pok. You should be Moni, and this is Pokrum. Nice map. That was fast. Do we have... I think I need to use a potion, for the critical strike chance. I feel like in terms of efficiency and still damage, somehow I find the more resource that you have, of course we found out that it will increase your critical strike chance. Anyway, we'll see, we'll see.
Formidable.
That is a very silly, stupid crowd control. Where are they? The Tempest, the Frozen, the Hellbinder. Everything is here. You cannot dash away because of the Hellbinder. Basically, the moment that you forgot to cast your Grasping Veins, basically the moment that your critical strike chance is not at 100%, that's where the problem will start. Okay, boss time. See, right at the start. Wow, what is my critical strike chance? 45. Garun 25. Bone Storm 20, and then 65, then Grasping Veins. Do we have? Holy shoot. Makes sense. Makes sense. I don't have. Okay. There is a critical strike. Oh, 6% only. My bad. How much is it? It's different, even though we're losing the momentum. Basically, it can still cast continuously the Bone Spirit, but I can see the difference with the previous one and this one. The other one is much more powerful with the higher resource. And basically, you're getting also your damage from from the resource through the adaptability. That damage of Bramble when you stay, I think I forgot that mechanic. When he casts that poison pull, like it's really dealing a lot of damage.
I forge more than horseshoes and nails, much better than starting from nothing.
Ay, ay, ay. Crowd control. And I think I changed, right? The grasping veins is the one is no longer doing the vulnerable. It's the bone splinters. Actually, it's a good. That is a good combination. Why the vulnerable instead of the corpse tendrils, especially during speed farming, because you don't have to wait and to find a corpse to cast your tendrils in order to apply vulnerable to enemies. Because we're casting our bone spirit and our splinters are being casted so fast as well, depending on your attack speed. So the rate of we are applying the vulnerable to the enemies is also efficient. No matter where they are, as long as they're being hit by the bone splinters. God damn. I want to stay on the left side so that I can see my stats. And then you're pulling me away. I see we peak at 98 though. I mean, that's high enough. Like, we are close to 100%. That quick? Thank you. Thank you. It is strong. It is strong, but again, maybe it is strong by using this one.
If I cannot be in the wilderness, this will do.
Can we go to... Take note, we are losing one important utility.
It is done.
Better than starting from nothing.
Let's go to Kiawashad. And the utility I'm talking about is the essence generation. I need boss. Critical strike chance at 100%. So without grasping veins, how much? %. So yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. If we have Oh, we have the air of perdition, sir. Well, this one will make sense now. You have the 20% increase in damage. You have the critical strike chance. And now you're increasing again. You have an additional increase on your damage through the skeletal mages. I believe this one is going to be ideal if you have the air of perdition. But I'm still hoping that if we can still utilize the overpower mechanic, but we will need the Banished Lord talisman. And we need to have at least resource of 275 in order to one cast. We overpower right away for every cast. We are guaranteed to overpower crit, but we need more resource. And in order to get that resource, so we have to swap with this one. Now see, without see the difference of that. 2.2. Wow. 56, 76, Yeah, critical strike chance at 100. Okay. I think we can finalize this now. I feel like I will not be able to continue playing today, but it's okay. So, for the end game, we need this one for the essence generation. And then Shattered Spirit, Decaying Humerus, Grasping Veins, correct. What am I missing? Adaptability. Is there any basic? Basic. Is there anything about resource? Edge Master increases your damage. Lucran. Maximum resource. Your skill gains 0.4% critical strike chance per point of primary resource, up to 40%. Each point of primary resource above 100 grants 0.2 critical strike damage instead, up to 500. So 500 divided by 5, so that's 100. Am I correct? So above 100, maximum of 500. So that's 400. Each point, 1 point, 0.2 divided by 1 point times 400. So that's 80 at 500. But can you reach 500 resource though? How can you reach? Probably you're gonna play sacrificial here, and then you need to triple master crit the maximum resource GA, and you need to bring out your minions and then use the Requiem aspect. But that's only 80%, 80% multiplier increase in critical strike damage. No. Aspect of adaptability, grasping veins, decaying humerus, that's correct. Verathiel, pain gorgers, hardened bones, might, shielding storm. I don't find maybe, okay, maybe this is hardened bones. I think so. The boats will. Right? We're just taking advantage of the maximum resource. if there is an unstoppable mechanic that we can use, actually we have one. We can move the curse aura here to the hardened bones. We can move the curse aura here on the hardened bones, and then we can replace this with the metamorphosis so that we can be unstoppable to gain that increased damage while unstoppable. Plus we have that maximum resource. And then tendrils, just basic. You can also use reap. Basically, I don't like the devotee. Either you use a devotee or Veratil. If you're going to combine the two of them, hey, what happened to the devotee? Why it doesn't have any... Is it bugged on the planner? Why it's not here? Huh? Why it's not here? Your basic skills are empowered. Damaging an enemy with a basic skill causes them to take increased damage to other basic skill. Probably you can use the devotee here and then Shard of Veratil. Probably you can replace this with another aspect. So the purpose here is the Gospel of Devotee is the purpose of maybe for speed farming. Because I don't find that it is going to be more efficient in terms of damage output, because you need to cast two basic skill alternately. One is you're using the reap, then you cast the your bone spirit to cast the splinters. What are the chances that during the buff expire from the devotee and then you casted your bone spirit, the bone splinters is the one activates the buff from the devotee, and then when you cast the reap that you thought that is the start of the buff, basically the reap now is getting the damage, if that makes sense. Because what you're doing here is you're really casting the bone spirit. This is the idea of the build. You're really just casting the bone spirit. It can be done, but I find it too challenging for a player who is casually playing, who just want to cast the skill, then play with the build. What I'm talking about is you really need to pay attention to the counter, like, oh, is the buff is going to expire and then I need to cast it again. Where's the buff? This is reap. Right? Where is the buff that tells us that, hey, the devotee is giving now your next basic skill some damage? Your basic skills are empowered. Damaging an enemy with the basic skill, which is reap, causes them to take increased damage from your other basic skills. Now the thing here is, it doesn't make sense, right? When you casted your bone splinters through your bone spirit, and then when you cast it again, the second bone splinters are being buffed, but it says here, it clearly states here that it will take increased damage from your other basic skill. Your basic skills are empowered. Damaging an enemy with a basic skill causes them to take increased damage from your other. It didn't say that damaging an enemy with the basic skill, your enemy will take increased damage. Therefore, when you cast now your, what you call this, Bone Spirit, and the chance for the basic skill to deal double damage, and this is now Masterwork to 8 without the GA, that's too low. Yeah, so basically that is my opinion on this. Basically the only good thing about this is through speed farming. Maybe you can use this one and then replace with Veratiel with all of the aspects, and with the setup your build, the level of your glyph, probably it's going to be strong enough. You know, you're just using the Gospel of the Devotee as a means to increase, basically to hit as many enemies as much as possible during speed farming, like dungeons, especially Inferno Hordes. Right? We don't see the buff. Like, where is the buff that tells us, like, hey, your other basic skill are now empowered for 10 seconds? Where is that duration? What happened? Oh yeah, with the Veratiel. Then this one. Boom. Oh, I didn't lose the essence. Oops. 'So the damage is stable at averaging 4,000 to 6,000. $2,000. Okay, let's get closer a bit. Okay, still the same, around 3k. I think that's the double damage, the 6,000. Now, reap. How long is the duration? 10 seconds, right? So 3, averaging 3k. Okay, let's count. 1, 2, 3, cast. 1. Oh, shh. Give me a second. Basic skill. Basic skill. Essence cost 25. Did it proc this one? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Want someone or something found? Find me.
Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Empowered. Yeah, from around 3,000, right? It increased by... See, that's the only thing. So during the fight, in actual fight, what are the chances that when you cast the Reap, that you thought, because there's no buff. See, there's no buff counter. So what are the chances that when you cast the Reap, it is the moment that the cooldown ended, and then the Reap is the one empowering the other basic skill. If that makes sense. That's why it's inefficient. Okay, going back to this one. So adaptability, decaying humorous. So again, if you have what's that? What's this? Grasping. I feel like the background sound is too intense. Let's make it a bit chill for a bit. Let's chill, relax. Okay, relax. 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 Don't do it. Let's bring back our points. Okay. Going back to my stat sheet. So right now we have 36.5 critical strike chance. We have a bit of critical strike chance on our dexterity here. We have on 2, 1. I don't have it here. I think I'm getting the critical strike chance from... Take note, we are not getting because we are in low life for this season. So we still have the 12%, right? Let's remove this one. Let's drink the potion and then let's heal for a while. Critical strikes. %, 1%. Okay. I think we should have taken this one. One, 4. So this is 6. What else? Oh shit. What the heck? Okay, so where am I getting the other? So 10 here. And then we have 6. Right? I don't have the inspiring leader yet. We have 10 on the dexterity, 6 on our. So where are we still getting the other critical strike chance? Right. Give me a second. Give me a second. So we have 10, we have 6. This is 10. This is not yet the final number. 10 plus 60% from the memento mori. So that's plus 6%. So this is 16. So 10 plus 6, 16 plus 16, so that's 32. We have 5. Where is it coming from? This is 10.3. So where is the remaining 6? I'm not getting any buff. Somewhere I'm getting 6. Somewhere we're getting 6, but anyway, so upon maximizing the Paragon board, so we have 36, and then at say at 230, if we can make it to 240, so you have even at 210, 7 times 3, so that's 21. So you now have 57 plus Garun, 57 plus Garun, you now have 82. Then Grasping Veins. How did I manage again to be at 100% critical strike chance without? Oh, where am I? Where am I already? So 36. Yeah, Bone Storm. We forgot about the Bone Storm. So we are at 100%. So 36. with sacrifice, with critical strike chance on the Book of the Dead. Bone Storm, 16 plus 20, so that's 36 plus 36, that's 72. Garrun plus 25, so that's 97% already. Basically, without adding the Grasping Veins, maybe we can just use the sacrificial aspect that will further increase our, not just our essence generation, our essence to increase our critical strike chance again, additional critical strike chance. So basically, without the Grasping Veins, we can cast the Bone Spirit at 100% critical strike chance, always critting, without the help of the Grasping Veins. So we can just speed farming through the enemies without worrying that our Bone Spirit is not going to crit to reduce that 7-second cooldown. Gotcha. So this is, and then if we have now the Error Perdition, now we can put it here. Maybe there's a high chance that we can also drop, maybe take the increased shadow damage if we have maybe a GA. Maybe a GA on, probably if you have a GA on Error Perdition, probably you can take this one. Only if you're a GA. Because that will add 10%, and then if you master crit it twice, then I would say it will, you're over with critical strike chance, then you can move it here for additional increase in damage. Okay. Armor, Shielding Storm. Armor is okay. That is correct. Maximum resource, I think not maximum resource. This one is life, and then what we need is this is cooldown. I mean, we can use the we can also use, instead of the Bolt's Will, you can also use the Crown Ablution. That will increase our damage by another 75%. But we need GA on no, if that is the case, yeah, I think this is a good setup. Curse Aura. Curse Aura and the Metamorphosis, so that you still have this being unstoppable. Okay. Armor. Of course, we need cooldown reduction here. Chest armor, we need intelligence, of course. Total armor, and then do we need spike armor? I don't think so. Maybe we can go with for the utility. Oh. Splinter. Nothing. Basic. Nothing. Explosion. Well, yeah, I think I'm okay with the corpse explosion. I think. not the corpse tendrils. When we pull the enemies, we don't need the explosion size. I think tendrils is the best option here for a larger pool. Basically, once the enemies are all grouped together, then we don't need basically the corpse tendrils. And technically, in terms of the AoE, we're using the our basic skill to increase our do our AoE damage. Okay, gloves, I would go, I think basic skills, to be honest. Damage is damage, but I would like to go with attack speed. More speed, more frequency that we can cast the bone spirit, more bone splinters. Then now we can add, maybe we can add one more what's tendrils, so we can add one more tendrils here, and then here we can add at least one of the explosion size of the spirit. Basically, we are going to be over we will be reaching the cap of the 100% size of the tendrils anyway, so we don't need a third one. Attacks evade cooldown, that's correct. Essence per second, we don't need. What we need here is movement speed. Amulet, maximum resource. This one is attack speed. Then I would assume we can go with intelligence for now. Armor. Macabre. Macabre damage? No. This is... Oh, this one. Primary resource. Then this one is... This one is crit damage. Bone crit chance 6%. Intel attack speed life, that's correct. Casting macabre skill, restore primary resource, macabre, critical strike damage, I believe that's fine. I think we should go crit damage here. Then weapon, of course, basic skill, attack speed, maximum resource. Ranks the basic skills. And then offhand, lucky hit chance, intelligence, no, not intelligence, this will be maximum life. Let's remove this one, maximum life. This one is resource. This one is cooldown. Basically, we need cooldown here, cooldown on the gloves, cooldown on the helmet. The thing is, now this is the interesting part. If we're going to use the Air of Perdition, we're gonna lose the cooldown reduction here. It should be this. This one. How many cooldown reduction do we have? Right now we are at 7.34 and that is coming from this one. So basically we have four sources. Three. 1, 2, and 3. And take note, these are GAs in cooldown. What if you don't have? Then this one is going to be more than. That is why, to compensate, if you have a high critical strike chance and if you have a high amount of resource, so the rapid ossification will also help on reducing the cooldown every time that you crit. That's why you need to have a very high resource first so that you can increase your critical strike chance, and then once you are now at 100% crit, then I believe even though this is 3, if this is only, say your Bone Spirit cooldown is roughly around between 8, then when it crits, you have 7. If you have 200, 1.5 for every cast, then you are reducing 1.5 times 2, so that's 3 seconds. So on top of your 7 second here, so you have a total of 10-second cooldown allowance at 200 resource, considering that you are critting your Bone Spirit at 100% chance. So this build is really tricky and it requires proper setup in order to make it efficient, unlike on the other builds that once you equip a unique item, then you're good to go. Then it's just getting it more stronger to make it more powerful. But for the Bone Spirit, you really need to get those utilities first in order to make the build efficient. So this one is good. Grasping Veins. I'm still thinking maybe Grasping Veins or Moonrise. I think if you don't need the Grasping Veins here, Moonrise here would be better. With more attack speed, then you get an additional movement speed plus an increased damage. No, Grasping Veins here is much more better in terms of for pushing. But if you are doing speed farming, Moonrise is better because this one is, we're talking about not just the critical strike chance, we're talking about the critical strike damage increase. This one, I think I need 1 point there. No need for the corpse explosion. Maximum here. 3. Did I put that approach there? No. That is why I'm so slow. Now we can get back the Coalesced Blood here. Remove this because we are now doing our basic skill. Our Bone Splinter is doing the no need for a 5 points there. Maybe I have 4, so 3 here. 1 point. That's it. I don't have any more here. I was able to put here on this season because I don't need this one because I'm low life. Then I don't need the coalescent blood, so that's why I have enough points to spend too. Okay, I think this is it. Probably tomorrow I'm just gonna set up the chaos, or probably while I'm commuting I'm just gonna make some update on this planner, because I have only limited time to stream during weekdays. Okay, let me finalize this Paragon board now. So Bone Graft, I think Flesh Eater, I don't need it. Change it to Wither board. Rotate, rotate, rotate. Is that how my Paragon board looks like? No, I went up, which is, this one is correct. So Wither node here, then what's wrong with my mouse? Abyssal. Taking this. Okay, activated. This is Frailty, so we will swap this with Frailty. Swap, change board with Frailty. There you go. Then rotate. I believe that's the one. We delete this one. Then to the right is the Scent of Death, so we add another board here. Just a dummy board, then we swap this with Scent of Death. There you go. Then Scent of Death. Rotate. That's it. Gravekeeper, Corporeal, Abyssal, Sacrificial, Essence. Are those the one I'm using? Abyssal, Darkness. Oh, Darkness, Amplify, Gravekeeper. Gravekeeper, Amplify here. Abyssal, Darkness. Speaking of darkness, is this the right? I believe that is not the right. This one. One. Move this. Place it here. One more here. This one. This one. This one. $90. This is $95. I'm missing one, which is this one. That's it. Then delete board. Copy to chaos setup. Then
Find things, even if they don't want to be found.
copy this to Okay, I'll set up gears, copy this to now. Should we go with Crown of Illusion here? The problem is the movement speed. I think this is Leadless Wall. Pain. I have to figure out, my problem here is the armor again. I feel like I'm going to curse. This one is important. And I need the shielding storm here. No, I need the shielding storm at the chest. Leadless wall, and then this is shielding storm. So that if we are going to use, I think the pain gorgers here should be here, and then leadless wall should be on the gloves. I cannot free these gloves because I will need one temper of armor, otherwise we are going to struggle with the armor. But I still need to figure this out, whether I can still add one more unique item here, and then basically what's going to happen is that you can do it maybe for pit pushing. You can add, you are now heavily reliant on your incenses, especially the soothing spices, to give you that armor. That I will have to check whether but for speed farming, I would say this is the gospel. So that they will get an increased damage. Basically, again, the gospel is, to be honest, the gospel here is just for speed farming, but I would go with the higher multiplier if Crown of Illusion can be on the gloves. So basically, as long as you have a free legendary armor, so the boots will have. This is the thing. Maybe we can sacrifice the life. We can sacrifice one life. Yeah, we have life on the gloves. We can sacrifice. This one doesn't have a life. That's the problem. I think we have to sacrifice the intelligence. I'm just assuming here. We should sacrifice the intelligence, then life, movement speed, and then armor. We need movement speed because otherwise we're so slow. We're gonna be so slow. That's why for speed farming, Then your speed farming variant would be the Moonrise here, so that you have also that additional 15% increase in attack speed, plus 20% attack speed, plus the 15% movement speed for 6 seconds. $10, so that's quite long enough. This one is Bone Storm. Uh-oh. Why did I... Ew. Accelerating chaos. No, that is not Mard Guard, and then this one is crazy, and then this one is the unstable power. Probably instead of Beast Cornered here, we're now going to use the Brain over Brains, and then not Mard Guard anymore. What can we use here now?
It's what I do.
Probably just this one. Again, chaos. What is it? What is this again? This is correct. Shielding storm. Then this is leadless wall. Pain. Curse aura. Okay, the thing is, do we still need the curse aura here? To be honest, we don't. However, we need that. We can still take advantage of that increased damage on enemies through the amplify passive, and then we are getting this 20% damage reduction. I think Curse Aura would be ideal here. And then again, for speed farming, you can replace this with Metamorphosis. And then Q, this is Moni with, what's that? Moni with Gar. Pok, and then this is Quack's Rune. Emerald. Emerald, skull, and then diamond. Monigar Pork Wax. Okay, that's correct. Now tomorrow, now we're going to utilize the overpower mechanic of that unstable power, and then let's see how it goes. And then probably I'm going to start setting up the chaos items, and then let's see. This is Sever. Decompose. And then also from time to time you can also cast the Reap so that you will have that damage reduction. Okay, that's good. And then I'm gonna set up the mythic once I have finalized the so what happened to my cooldown reduction, chest armor, intelligence, gloves, cooldown reduction, pants. This is intelligence. Anything else? And then basically I'm almost done for the day. So bone storm duration. Oh no, I like this one. Then armor, we go intelligence, gloves, cooldown reduction, pants, basic skill. This is the pain gorgers, intelligence, that's correct, bone spirit, corpse tendrils. So now I have one corpse tendrils only. Then this is tendrils now. Then on our end game, it should be, this one is tendrils. Anyway, I'm just gonna update this once we have finalized everything. Paragon, back to chaos setup. Actually, this is not yet done. If we're going, this is still incorrect with regards to the Paragon board. I still have to check. Maybe I'm going to replace maybe Scent of Death with the Bloodbath. The Bloodbath, and then we're going to add the Dominate Glyph.
Want someone or something found, you find me.
Maybe Dominate Glyph here on the Frailty. How many willpower? 79. I think that's fine. This one is 69. So maybe we can place the Dominate Glyph here instead of the Darkness, and then this one is the Bloodbath. This is now the tricky part. Do you have dexterity here? Okay. we can replace amplify with essence here. Bone skill damage, let's remove that. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh shoot, I need this one. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. $74. Now bloodbath. One more point. We're missing one more willpower. Where are you? Steady willpower. 74. It says here 79. I feel like on the actual board something is missing here, but anyway. Willpower here, here. There's 1, 2 here, so that's correct. Usually it will highlight the willpower. Where's the willpower? This one, there's a node missing here. This is willpower. So basically it's like this, and then we go up here. This is willpower. Here. I don't know, for some reason it's missing here. This is willpower node. So that will become our 79th. Our additional 5. Okay. Let's continue with this one. So this will be amplify, so that we can amplify the overpower damage here. Damage well fortified. I'm just gonna retain the setup for this end game for a while. This is just for, let's like a template. Okay, where do we go? resistances to elements, maximum life. So this one is good to is the way to go. Wow, this is a node heavy. We are now at 39 remaining points. Wow, this is almost perfect. Maybe we don't need this. Maybe I need. Wow. This is like 294 Paragon level. Probably we can remove this one. If you're okay with the essence, probably you can remove this one. And what else? Shadow damage over time? No. Why do you have this? Maybe we can also reduce the critical strike damage here for like to match like what we have on the Set of Death. I believe 50 something. How much is our... Oops, my client is disconnected already. It's okay, I'm almost done basically. So what else? And then speaking of skill tree, then we're gonna remove this, swap to Ratma's Vigor for that more overpower damage. I think this is already the setup for the chaos for the meantime, but again I will have to check if this is really the proper position and the setup, and we will just go figure it out along the way. Weapon, basic skills, then offhand, cooldown reduction, lucky hit chance. Oh, I forgot this one. So bone splinters, cast twice, and then crit damage. Maybe if you have a GA, you don't need the cooldown reduction there. Okay, our template. This one is splinter, then crit damage. So yeah, I think it's almost basically I have already at least was able to finalize the template. What are the ideal affixes? What are the skills that we need to use moving forward for every season, considering that there's no nerf that is going to happen on this build. And then for the chaos armor, I have already set up for the chaos armors. So now we are going to use now the full mechanic of the basic skill using the unstable power. So that will make our basic skill to, to overpower crit 100%. And I want to see this efficiency on the Infernal Horde. So, well, that's it. So I think unfortunately, I was planning to play today, but I need to do some testing, and then I have to finalize this this planner. So at least so tomorrow we can start playing, basically start optimizing the build and figuring out the affixes, the position of the chaos armors. Considering that I have the chaos armor based on the setup that I have created here, but either way we can mix and match. Switch the position of this as long as the boots and the chest should be a free a non-chaos arm, non-chaos equipment. Speaking of non-chaos, I think the boots, we need to change this one. Not intelligence, but this one is max life, then armor. It's okay if you have one armor here, but once you probably you can have a spare boots. You can have a spare boots because once you have the arrow perdition, you're gonna place here. Oh, basically you're gonna drop either the crown of illusion. Probably you're gonna drop the crown of illusion here. Move the lidless wall here, and then or move the lidless wall here. The reason why you need an armor legendary so that you can still place the shielding storm. The glove shouldn't be, because otherwise you're gonna lose the shielding storm. Same thing with the boots, and we cannot place the boots because we need to place a movement speed. Otherwise we are slow as a turtle. So lidless wall. So just in case we get the era of perdition, so we're going to move lidless wall to the crown of illusion, and then era of perdition. If that is the case, then this should be lidless wall then. Then this is, oh, or give me a second. Oh shoot. So that's the only thing that will need to be changed. And then from Gar, probably you can just replace this with maybe Thalrun for that additional increase in damage. And then if you're speed farming, once you have the air perdition, if you're speed farming, maybe you can use the Qua rune for movement speed, or Jar rune for teleporting when you evade. So I think this is it for, oh, what the heck? Mythic, save, lidless wall, then this is pain. Then Gar, Tusa. Pants, cooldown reduction. Or maybe attack speed. Or should we just go with life? Attack speed. Cooldown reduction. Probably, I think this one is fine. Or this one. That's it. That's it. All right. So we're ready to play this build tomorrow. So that's it for me today. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one. So let's play this Bone Sprinter tomorrow. Have a good one, guys, and good night. Bye.